how did the payment go? How did the invoicing go? How did the shipping go?
There's 500 USD in there. And instead of paying your, I think it was 18% taxes on it, import tax, because nothing was right, and it's been there for a while, we had to pay 100%.
Wow.
So we had to pay exactly another 10,000. And he couldn't understand up until he started speaking to people that after Chinese New Year, he once lost like almost more than 30% of his staff. What? Why? Did I do something wrong? He started speaking. He said, no. After Chinese New Year, they like to reflect. Is it more important to make maybe a little bit more money, but I work far away from my family, or to be closer to home and make a little bit less?
So Anton, 10 years in China, going through the bikini business. Run me through that. Tell me how it started. Tell me what got you caught into it, and give me the nitty-gritty.
Okay, so it was a bit unexpected. So we came here just to teach. And then to make a long story pretty short is my wife were looking for different bikinis to try. We were on our way to the Philippines for the first time. So we came to China, now we're going to travel. Philippines, Thailand, so you want something, right?
Of course.
And she was struggling to get like the proper fit. So when she got something that was nicely fitting upstairs, it didn't work at the bottom. And when she got something for her, the bottom side, it didn't work up like for her.
On the top.
Yeah, on the top. And I'm like, but can't we try to do this ourselves? And we started to talk to friends who know friends, and we couldn't really talk to a factory who said, hey, design us something or make us something or something more personalized. So it just didn't work. And obviously 1 year in China, you don't know anything. There wasn't, like Taobao didn't even, like, was super difficult to figure out. And I just asked her, like, maybe we try to play around ourselves with something, like make something. Because the infinity dress was something then. Like it just came out, so you're like, oh, maybe this could work. And I think after about a month or two playing around, she literally at some stage had a black bag that we cut, tried to like make it work and like hold it. So it was quite funny, and I got to know a lot about like what's the difference between a 32A and a 32D, and what's the difference between like somebody with like a what do you call it, an hourglass shape and a pear-shaped body, and a square and a rectangle and triangle, and yes, Pinterest and all that. I went through it, and then the problem was what kind of material. So our first problem we got stuck with was getting a supplier for material. So we were looking at different things, and then it were too stretchy or too thin. So when it stretches, you can almost see through it. And then others are too thick, there's no stretch at all. And at the end of the day, she had this weird, almost like an H shape that was able to be a bottom. And when you turn it to the side, it was able to be a top. So that was our first step into like, wow, this could maybe work. And she had this thin, I can't remember, spandex, cotton something material. And we had one layer, then two, then three, and we put like all these layers. Never forget it, she had like pink and red and yellow, and we folded it, and it worked, weird enough. And then like, okay, we have this, but it's just cut by hand, like with literally almost no kitchen scissors. And now what's the next step, you know?
Right.
So we had to try. We had a friend who was big in the meat business, importing from Argentina, that I met through the rugby. And he's like, talk to these people, they might help you. So we found a factory. The factory was able to help us make one, but obviously you have to pay an upfront fee. I never heard the word MOQ before, and I wanted to make it. It's like, yeah, so what's your minimum order? What's your minimum quantity? And I'm like, huh? No, I want like 1 or 2 for my wife. It's like, no. If you make 1 or 2, it's probably going to cost you, let's say, 500 RMB for one, or 1,000 RMB. It's like, no, you have to order 100 or 200. And then that was the second step. So then we started like thinking about, never heard about MOQ. So now you know we have to find somebody that has like a small MOQ. And then we started talking to friends, and people liked the idea. So our first order, I think we ordered 20 bikinis, something super small. They did a super good job, and we gave it to our friends, or to her friends, like just like try this.
Yeah.
And we had some very good feedback, where things from, this one fits very well, it's like nice. Other ones like, the supports, I need more supports, I need less support. And we changed the design again. We ended up making a double-layered bikini where you can put in
padding.
Yes, a padding, and take it out if you need to, because every woman is different. Okay, so this was something I never knew. So we started exploring that, and then before we wanted to launch it, we spoke to somebody. It's like, why don't you patent it? And long story short, we patented it in South Africa.
Right.
Around the world, it's not a patent, it's called something else for designing. So we have some rights, but in South Africa, nobody's allowed to make it or sell it.
Well done.
So this was like a hobby that turned into like a side hustle.
Right.
And from there, we had to learn how to do coding and get onto the internet and set up your own website because we had somebody that was too expensive. But yeah, so then when we started getting up and running, we went to our first factory ever, small factory in Dongguan. And you actually, you have to take the time to go to different factories, because what you see online or talking to somebody, you have to, as soon as you have a product you like and you want to maybe export it or source it or send it out of China, go visit the factory, right? Get to know the boss, the laoban, as they say, like talk to the guy, because usually then your service is also better.
Because you know him, he knows you.
Yes,
you
that personal touch, instead of going on made in China or whatever, Alibaba or something, you never know. So quality-wise, it was great to be there. And he had 10 times more material. It's like, try this, look at this. Look at the designs, the coloring and the patterns I have. So
options opened up, ideas opened up.
Yeah.
What?
So yeah, that's how we got into it our first time back in 2015.
So many questions. Wait, let me start.
Okay, go.
So first one, let's start with MOQ. For those that don't know, MOQ would be?
Minimum order quantity.
Minimum order quantity. Okay.
Yes.
So when you go to the factory and you want to make something, you can't just make one. They give you a minimum order quantity.
Yes.
That's a good set of information to know.
Yep. Because after that, we went to Canton Fair and everybody's like, what's your MOQ? And I'm like, oh. And now at least I knew. I'm like, okay. And a lot of factories can give you a small MOQ for a higher price and a bigger MOQ for a bigger price.
For a lower price.
Somebody that's new into the business, they pay more. But obviously they want to try to find the customers. The one with the customers, they pay less. So yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. Firstly, this product sounds amazing. I might just recommend it to someone. You should give me the name. We'll talk about that. And the idea behind it was amazing, like how you got through it, how you thought about it, and then going through the black bag cutting and getting through the material. Right. Tell me about your journey, though. When you guys landed in China the first time, and you now needed to find the factory and deal with the language barrier and deal with the culture clash, how did that process go?
Yeah. Back then, no DDs. Translation apps wasn't a big thing. At least I had one. And so basically, you talk to them, you type it down, you show him, he types on his end, he shows you. So it's a very slow process. So between translating on your phone, body language, because I said, ni hao, that's it. That's it. And back then, a lot of, most Chinese, it felt like, didn't speak a lot of English. They also had bare minimum. So they don't really always deal with foreign customers. And those who do, they have somebody who can speak English. But when we went to this specific factory, there was nobody. Nobody spoke. The boss spoke very little, but very broken, like, this color, you like? Yeah. So it was slow, but it shows you a lot, and it helps you, like, you have to stay calm. You can't get upset or annoyed, because it doesn't help anyone. And I used to be somebody who would like, somebody would irritate me, something would irritate me quickly. And now I'm like, nah, this is China. You're in their country, so you have to adapt.
I think that's a key. Knowing that you're in a foreign country now, right? And you got to adapt to what they observe as behavioral, and maybe not insult them or be too aggressive. It's very important to know, right? That's amazing. I mean, if you think about it, right, what you're saying is adapt to the culture first. Maybe observe before you interact.
Yeah. Yes. This was some of my best advice I got from a friend. We were working in China maybe 6 months. Like, Anton, you're in their country. You have to be respectful enough to adapt to their ways, because they're not wrong, they're different. There's nothing like they're wrong. No, the way they do things, they don't see it as wrong. They grew up that way. If you grew up that way, you would have felt the same. They're just different, and that's why we adapt to them. And that spared me so many headaches. Every time something happened on a train, going to Canton Fair, traffic, or even a driver trying to bump the price, didn't bother me. Talk to the guy. Shouting doesn't help anyone. So yeah, helped me a lot to adapt. And 10 years later almost, so yeah.
Wow. So if you had, let's just say we took one golden set of advice you would give to someone who said, called you up and said, Anton, I want to go to China. I want to do what you did. I want to follow in your footsteps. What's your advice?
Oh, one golden one. I always told everybody this is the best place to be. I love this country, but everybody's not the same. So if you can accept the culture shock, or I usually make a joke like, I think me and my wife were like chameleons. We can adapt to anything.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people who can get out of your comfort zone and adapt, then I would say do it. So yeah, my advice would be come and try it, but be open-minded. The way they do business, the way everything works are not the same that you are used to.
Right. And that's the biggest thing, right? Especially when it's communication, or I need an invoice and they're like, no. And you go back and forth. And how was that process for you? Let's say you placed the order and your minimum order quantity was 20 pieces, right? Your first one. How did the payment go? How did the invoicing go? How did the shipping go?
Okay, so yeah, I will take most of it that I know. So my wife, she runs most of the logistics.
Okay.
She's amazing when it comes to like just putting something in an Excel sheet, or yeah, like she can keep book of anything and everything. But to put it into perspective is, back then they would ship it to me. I literally just paid him WeChat. They shipped it to me, and I had to ship it to South Africa. A lot of factories now can help you ship it. So you have to go do the homework of looking at your own quotes for shipping and looking at their quotes, because they know what they're doing. They've been doing this a while. And some of them, they have something like a import company, maybe on both sides. And they actually can, what's the word? They get tax back. They get tax kickbacks after, yeah. But to make it simple is, when you check everything, there's rules that I never knew about. So you have to look at the length, the width, the height. So the dimensions. You to work out the volume
of the box.
Yeah, of the box. And they divide this by 5,000. Some companies 6,000, but the rule of thumb is 5,000. If you ask me now why, I am not sure. But this is how they work it out. And then there's a number, and this number equals the box's weight. So if we have a box that's, let's just say, 0.5 meter by 0.5 meter by 0.5 meter square, and you work out, and the weight should be 30 kilograms. Okay, this is this box's limit. But now you're putting something heavier inside it, and this is 40 kilograms that's inside. Then you pay for the 40 kilograms. If you put clothes inside there, that's light, but it takes a lot of space, you pay for the volume's weight. So the box literally weighs 10 kilos, but according to the size of it, they charge you for 30 kilos.
Right.
So there's something we never knew. They're like, why is it so expensive? And then the guy literally, at least he was so nice. He's like, no, this is how they do it. And we started talking to even DHL, FedEx, the big companies, and they showed us how to do it. So that's a big thing, where it can influence your price a lot.
So it's a rule across all these companies that they do it?
Yes, it's a shipping rule in basically any country. It's a shipping rule. Yes.
Okay, let's try and teach me about this shipping rule. So I've got a box. My box has, cups inside, right?
Yeah.
Right, and my box is 300 by 600 by 900, right?
Yeah.
As an example. Then they would take those dimensions, divided by 5,000. It would give them a weight.
Yeah, so you take the dimensions like you do volume. 300 times 900 times, you said 600.
600, yeah.
That total divide by 5,000.
Wow.
And that's going to get the box's maximum weight.
And then once that is done, they still weigh the box.
Yeah.
Because if the box weighs more than that weight, then they give you the
one that's more. So you pay the maximum price always. That's the rule.
Wow.
Because if you think about it, if there's a shipping container on a boat, on a ship, there's a shipping container, right? If there's a car inside and it has a weight, it's still a shipping container.
Bingo.
If there's toys inside or clothes inside, it's still a shipping container. At the end of the day, that's what you pay for. But as soon as it's heavier, then you pay for the heavier one.
Right.
Always the heavier one.
What? That's amazing.
And yeah, so some companies are nice. They sometimes even help you repack the boxes. I don't know
why
what,
is
but
that important?
sometimes they're using the shipping method they are using. If it's air freight or sea freight,
Right.
they want certain size boxes as a max. So they would repack it for you to be maybe it's just easier to get it in the airplane, because we've had companies where they repack it and the price dropped by, let's say, 1,000 RMB.
Wow.
So
That's
there's a lot of things behind it, yeah. Then second thing is your commercial invoice. Okay. So commercial invoice, very important. It's always in USD, what my experience, so always USD with the price, and then that price will be your customs price in the landing country.
Right.
So they will, everything has this code, number, it's called S something, SUQ,
SKD?
I don't know. Yes, I think it's the SKD, right? So for clothing, there's a number. But for plastics or toys, there's another number. And you can get more specific, like types of clothing or types have their own special number. So this number will tell you what's your tax. So will you import taxes? So will it be 7%, 12, 18, 20, 50%, depending on the product. And then that, with the commercial invoice, you send that along. So when it gets in South Africa, they check the box. They sometimes mostly open it. They check what's inside to check, it makes sense with
match, right?
Yeah, it matches. They close it. Sometimes if something looks fishy, they'll unpack that whole box and it will get to your house all rumbled up, everything, nothing folded again. So
That
make
sounds
sure.
like it happened to you, did it?
Oh, a few times. Yeah. We got stuck once almost 3-4 months at customs.
No.
So, yes, so there's always a good and a bad, but it was a learning curve. So make sure your commercial invoice has everything on it in USD.
Yeah. Okay, let me jot that down. Commercial invoice, right? And through that experience that you had with waiting that 3-4 months, was there additional charges? Was there anything that surprised you when it got there? Like, was your items damaged, as an example?
We were lucky. Items, only clothing, were not damaged. Some of it was a bit dirty. I think maybe they threw it on the floor, like unpacking it in a warehouse, so the floor has dust on it.
Oh, they checked it thoroughly, right?
Right? Yeah. They went through it. So not damaged. We're lucky. I've heard stories where it's been damaged, but only dirty. Yes, you had to pay the longer it was in the warehouse. There's like a storage fee, a small fee. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't crazy. And at the end of the day, that was one of our first shipments. I think, let's say 10,000 Rand USD, let's say 500 USD. They make it easy, 20 Rand, I'm not going into.
Okay, 10,000.
So there's 500 USD in there. And instead of paying I think it was 18% taxes on it, import tax, because nothing was right and it's been there for a while, we had to pay 100%.
Wow.
So we had to pay exactly another 10,000. Wow. So
did they give you a reason?
The invoice wasn't ready. The commercial invoice wasn't right. That was the first problem. And this one might have even been missing. We didn't even send it. I actually think we didn't send it. We didn't know. Of
course.
We just sent a package home. Why not? They checked it. And then we were too late to respond to one of the emails. So when it lands, it tells you it's there, it's at customs, you have to pay immediately. And when it gets delayed, you have to follow through. But every time we email them, she would take a week to reply. And then another week to reply. So you send 4 emails a month. And now whoever's in the warehouse is more upset than the woman in the office working. And yeah, that's South Africa for you as well. Like, we have things that are delayed. And again, can't get upset. You can't change anything. You're on the other side of the ocean. So yeah.
Well, you learned from it.
100%. I would say what I've learned from it, if you do it your first time, use a big company, even if it's a bit more expensive, DHL, anything that's very well known, okay? Because they will tell you all the steps. especially they will ask you, is this for personal use? Is this for business use? Personal use, it's small. If it's even bigger, big personal, commercial invoice. If it's something super small, a pair of running shoes or something you want to send to your brother or your mom, don't worry. They sort everything out. We have DHL agent. That's super good. So find an agent, get to know them. Our agent would literally sometimes unpack it and make the commercial list to make sure everything is perfect. So we'll send everything, but they'll even check it. So they double check our work, which is awesome. And then when it lands in South Africa, you get an email. And from this email, you have to go onto DHL's website. And you have literally only like I would say a few days, because or else there's a million other things coming into the country.
Of course.
So you have to immediately go pay that import tax for it to get released. And if you're too slow, boom, back of the line and everything starts over.
Then it's not only the time, it's charges, it's emails, it's response. So it becomes very difficult.
It becomes a headache. Wow. So I would say the last couple of years, we've been sending clothes to a boutique. We've been sending some other products. Let's say like stainless steel jewelry, specific things, 100% silicone dummies for babies, a pacifier for the proper word, things like that. And we've never been stopped once. So everything now, thanks to my wife. Now. No, not me. No,
oh, she's a pro.
Yeah, she's a pro. I'm only the one packing the boxes over and over and like, nah, this is not big enough. This is too heavy. Then she measures it, weighs it. I'm like, no, unpack again. And I'm the packer right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Amazing, man. In that packing, I can see, based on what you said now, if it's not packed correctly, such a small step, but yet so important.
Yeah, 100%.
If it gets there, and let's say you don't have a friend, like you made a good friend with a DHL contact of yours, and he can repack it and check it for you. But what if they don't have that?
Then you have to make sure you are 100% on it. No, 100%, yeah.
And I mean, that for someone, let's say, they go for the first time, they come to China, okay, they get through the language barrier, they get through the culture barrier, now they order some stock, and they pack it in a box, and they're like, okay, I'm going to buy this there, and because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Put it on air cargo if it's important, or shipping if it's, can take some time, because there's a big time difference.
Yeah.
And then, boom, they're calling up the supplier, where's my shipment? Call the cargo company, and back and forth, and back and forth, right?
Yeah.
I can hear it. I can see it rings a bell with you, right?
No, 100%. No, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. So that was your packaging. That was your shipping going through. That was your product landing in SA. And now you've got your, can I say, set market? Can I say set supply that you have of your product?
You can. A lot of things happened in the last 10 years. We started moving a bit away from it. And then now we're just helping 2 or 3 customers, like very good friends. So we're not trying to expand anymore on it. We've got some other things going on.
Okay.
That's working out very well. And yeah, so I would say if you keep on doing it, grow your scale, make sure you do it in the right way, where you can handle everything or you need somebody to help you. Because for sourcing, obviously very good money in it, consistent money, but obviously then there's things like Chinese New Year, everything closed.
Shut down.
So it's not always that consistent. It might be up and down and up and down. And that's what we had. But it was so much fun. Like, we understand everything. We love Canton Fair. We've been there so many times. When we don't even need anything and we're off on the day there's Canton Fair, we just literally go to see what they have, because you get so many ideas.
Yeah.
And my plan is eventually to end up back in South Africa. And then this, I definitely going to start up back again, 100%. Or just do it more full time. Right now, yeah, we do it. I would say we ship something once a month.
Okay.
Like 100 kilograms of clothes, and that's a lot. It's like 3-4 big boxes.
Yeah. And if you had to do a comparison, you said, okay, 10 years ago when you landed here and you started your journey, right, to today, and you compare these two, let's say these two Antons, right, at that time.
Okay,
Anton starting out and Anton here, and you're looking at each other and you're facing each other, and what would you say to him?
Oh, good luck. No, I'm joking. I would literally tell him, do your homework, your due diligence, and don't I like to just jump into the big end. Like, I want to get it done, so we got it, we sent it, and we had trouble. So I would say, do your due diligence, like, talk to people who's been through this. Ask for advice. Never ever be shy not to ask for advice. Like, there's nothing like free advice. A beer with a friend, a coffee with a friend, this friend knows a friend. And then from there, build your connections. So you have to like try to find some good connections. 100%.
Absolutely agree with you. I think once you build good connections and you actually have good people you can call or you can speak to, it makes the flow of things easier. It makes you more confident. It makes you more productive. And it also satisfies your clients a lot.
Oh, yes. Right. Especially, one thing I've learned as well is don't tell them it's going to be there next Friday. Give yourself, depending on how much in a hurry they are, give yourself 5 to, if you can, a week, 10 days. Like, if you can. Because, think about it. If you tell the client it's going to be there on the 25th, and it lands the 20th, and you call him up and you're like, it's there. Happy client.
Absolutely.
Okay. If you told him it's going to be there 20th, and after the 22nd, you have to let him know it's not there yet, there's things.
Disappointing.
And then, right? So always, if you can, give yourself a bit of a delay.
So rather,
they don't need to know.
Under promise.
Yes.
And over deliver, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. I think, let me write that one down.
Good to know, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good bumper sticker.
Let me delve back into what you said. You called it due diligence. Give us some more information. What is due diligence and why is it there?
Just to make you sleep at night. So, talk to an agent, but then whatever they say, try to talk to a second agent to get a second quote. Just like talk to somebody else to say, oh, I've heard that the commercial invoice only needs to have this on, or the tax work like this, or like double check whatever people are saying. Because yes, if you ask the expert, yes, you should believe them, but double check it.
Because you're responsible.
100%. So always double check, not their work, but their answers. So, yeah.
Let's say you don't do your due diligence, as you said, you don't check it, and it gets to the client. Nobody's going to call that guy and complain to him. You take the full responsibility, right?
Something's not there, the color is off, something they expected, or it didn't look the same as in the picture. My wife goes as far now, so they always order so she has her factories and her supplies, so they know. So we order one of everything in her size. Then she literally puts it on and shows it to the clients in South Africa. Like, she literally stands there with her camera, turns around and just show her. And literally in the camera she'll say, I like the fabric, it's like you want it, it's stretchy. I don't really like this, it feels itchy, or the dress is too long here, this is this. And they can try to change it from the factory side until the product is perfect. Because now when it gets to the people in South Africa,
clients,
they can't really complain, right? Because that's what they chose. You were on the phone with them and they saw it. It's not the way you opened it up and you looked at it and you put it back down.
Right. That's also good advice. To be able to, when you're dealing with your client, give them the first impression, first direct look. Give me feedback now. I can fix it for you. So when it gets to you, it's like, yes, you made those changes. Maybe you're not 100% happy, but it's your input.
Yes.
Ownership. Yeah, somewhere there.
Right? No, 100%. No, 100%.
Yeah, wow.
So I think small things, yeah.
One of the major challenges that, especially like Warren Buffett, he talks about it, and he says clothing is a big challenge because of the sizes. And you and your partner have found a way to actually fix that for this particular product, right? Bikini specifically. And if I asked you and I said, Anton, if it was a men's jacket or shorts, what process do you think you'd need to follow to mimic that?
To find something that people are, that's super difficult because your shoulder width is your shoulder width, right?
Or even the waist, or even the legs, or even the length.
And that's why clothing is one of the more difficult things to get into, because you can't buy one of each size. You can't buy 5 or 10 of each size. You have to get to know your customers where, the average guy wears this. The bigger guys, there's only like 20% of them or 10% of your sales. So you have to try. But the problem is there's always going to be clothes over. Same with shoes. There's always shoe sizes left. Always. That's why you see all these big sales. And at the end of the day, you will lose clothes, definitely. That's never going to sell out, or you're going to have to give it as a gift away. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm buying it for 50, I'm going to sell it for 100, I'm making 50. No. There's so many other things that cuts into that profit that you have to know kind of before you even start selling. The clothes that's left over, the clothes that might be damaged. One interesting thing is you have to expect, usually, rule of thumb, it can be higher, 3 to 5% of all your products that you're going to have is damaged. Okay? So, and that's not just shipping. That's nothing to do with shipping.
Manufacturing?
Just manufacturing. It's just like where the machine ran out of thread, they changed the thread, they went, but it's millimeters off, but when you get to no clothes, you see it. But when I order 100 pieces, you only go through about 30% of those 100 pieces, or 50%. At the beginning, we did all 100%, and we'll send some back, but even going through 100, you don't spot everything. Absolutely. You cannot go through every single line that's been threaded. Like, it's impossible. So you have to know there's always a little bit, I would say 5% of your product that won't be usable.
I'm picturing you and your partner going through every single one, line by line, stitch by stitch.
And imagine and this is in our house, in the living room, right? Like, it's a mess.
Coffee, I need more coffee.
It's been a journey. It's fun. I wouldn't like change anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to make it easier, obviously, but no, like I tell like my friends, sometimes even my students, is you can't get better at something or learn if you don't make mistakes. You only get better once you make mistakes. That's it.
Great advice. Okay. Your journey seems like one that's very unique. It sounds like you and your partner should write a book. Quote me on this, okay?
I like it, yeah.
You just told me to write a book, so write a book. You can call it Figure 8. Just giving you an idea, right?
I love it. I love it.
But let's dive into the conversation. Chinese people. Tell me about your interaction with them, especially on a business level, then on a casual level. How have you found Chinese people? The reason for the question is there's a big stigma attached to China, and it's generally negative. Yeah. However, most people, once they've landed in China, it's as if a curtain is open, the light is on.
100%. Yeah.
And they're like, China has so much more to offer. That doesn't mean there aren't good and bad people, within the country, but please give me your experience.
Yeah, like you say, any country you go to, it's going to be the same. When we just landed here back in the day, the first thing I realized or felt was they are so friendly. Friendly in the sense of they actually want to help. Friendly in the sense of they seem like they cared. I think I was also with a very lucky group of people, maybe, but also a bit curious. They didn't see a lot of South Africans or met or spoke to a lot. So I think they were curious, happy, and actually, just friendly. So I actually enjoy it. Going out, sometimes they can seem to be a little bit quiet. But then again, if you put me with them and there's 20 Chinese people around the table with me, I'm also quiet. It's 100% the same. So you can't make it a stigma. It is just the situation, number one, and the culture. We are different, all of us, right?
Did the language play a part?
Oh, so I would say yes and no, because language I couldn't speak anything. So when they start speaking, I'm like, no, I have no idea what's going on. But in general, they would not get upset. Go to a store or 7-Eleven. No. Yes. And it's not like they're like getting upset with me trying to figure out what I want, like up, down, is it the Coke or the water or the Fanta or the Sprite, whatever. No, they would laugh at me and like be happy. And I'm like, oh, sure, thank you. But I think it's a big thing how you approach them or the situation. If you kind of just, then they're like, okay. Right. But if you're like, hello, hi, how's it going? You look friendly. I hope I look friendly. I don't know.
You do. You do.
And I think that plays a big role. And the same in the business. When we started meeting the people, going to factories, you're always most likely going to meet somebody that's either the floor manager or higher. Like they always send somebody important. If the boss is there, you're going to meet the boss. And you want to buy from them, but they also want to make a good impression because China has competition everywhere. The fact that you're there already says something, like they're happy you're there. They want you to be there because they want obviously another client. But you can just as well leave. You don't want to use that as leverage always because some people are like, then I don't care, just go. But once you're there, they will really be nice. They would offer you tea for a bit, and then if the deal is done, you go straight into Bai Joe, obviously. And it's fun to drink with them. You don't have to speak English or Chinese when it comes to drinking. I know, but yeah, you'll make it work, trust me.
And how does that affect the business relationship?
In South Africa, we don't really do that when it comes to big business. Here, it's part of the culture. And I would say it strengthens the business relationship because they see you as a friend now, not just as another number or just for money. No. Right. They actually try to build relationship. It's a big thing here where they're not going to message you every day. How are you? What's going on? How was your week? No. You put in your order, everything goes smooth. You go and say thank you, or he'll say, how was the order? Quickly come for lunch. And that's the relationship they want. They want happy, friendly. And if you can build that, and there's something wrong with the product, he'll go out of his way to help you. Oh. They'll try to fix it. They will literally say, sorry, I understand. I'll send you a new one for free, or I'll just replace it. So then they go out of their way. Or your next shipment, they give you like a small discount. So, yeah, it's not just a handshake and you leave, right, or a bank transfer and you leave. You kind of have to be there just for lunch or dinner, just do it once every few months So it's pretty cool.
It actually sounds like something most buyers would want to do. You'd want to build a relationship, be able to communicate. So that's golden.
Right?
I agree. I fully agree. If I were to purchase something and I went to the factory and I spoke to them and I wouldn't say knew them personally, but I knew them a bit deeper. And I could call the owner and say, look, man, my cup is scratched and they're like, oh, don't worry, I'll fix it. I would feel very good.
Yeah, feel important,
absolutely,
right? Like it feels like, you've been seen. Like I said, you're not just a number. So that's good. Yeah,
oh, that's
100%.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The Chinese culture, a lot of foreigners misunderstand the silence, and we generally find that media messed it up. There's a lot of negative media.
100%. No, 100%.
But when you get here and you speak to the taxi drivers that you spoke about, or the business owners or the promoters, and you have a conversation, you understand that they just people like us, They're 100%. Genuinely people. They've got families, they've got ideas, they've got business drive. And what I found is, and this is my next question for you, what I found is the general interest in business in China for the majority of people is much higher than most other countries. Like they're very driven here. They push, they go, they work. Holidays, night shifts, weekends. Have you experienced the same?
Yeah, 100%. Example, coming here tonight, we drove past the market and I'm like, oh, daddy and mommy used to eat at the market like this when we didn't have kids yet. It's like, but why are they open so late? I'm like, yeah, in China, everything stays open because people work late. So the other businesses stay open for later, 100%. It's like a 24-hour city in a sense, right? And there's a Chinese saying, can't say it in Chinese, but it says like, if you don't work, you don't have money, which makes 100% sense, but they have this way of speaking. But just mean that you always have to work. That's why they don't mind working till 11 p.m., 12 p.m., working on a Saturday, working on a Sunday, because it's part of their culture, because that's how you grow. In their mind, this is how you grow, which makes sense. Because if you want to be a successful business owner, you're not just going to do your 9 to 5 or just, no, you are sitting there grinding after work, evenings, Saturdays, Sundays.
Holidays.
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is something that's very admirable, from the Chinese side. Okay, so let's take that and let's go back to what you said about Chinese New Year's coming. Okay. So now, during the Chinese New Year, can we say Chinese have a break? Do they take some time off?
100%. Yes. this is for them. It's a big family time. It's almost like our Christmas. If you can, you want to see your family. And I think one thing they genuinely try super hard is they go back to their hometown. So the town where they grew up, or the parents were born, or the grandparents, they go to them. It's
no
not like,
matter how far
it
it
doesn't
is.
matter. That's why this is the biggest migration of people in the world, right? It's over Chinese New Year. There's 1 billion people moving around. And then that 4 days of Chinese New Year, 90% of the country doesn't work. It's literally the necessity, or a police officer or somebody on call, a shop that they know, oh, this is my hometown, this is my shop in the back of my, that will be open a bit because they know people want to get something, but this is their family time. And very interesting enough, I had a friend that had a big restaurant in the city, and he couldn't understand up until he started speaking to people that after Chinese New Year, he once lost like almost more than 30% of his staff, 40%. He's like,
That's odd.
what? Why? Did I do something wrong? He started speaking. I was like, no. After Chinese New Year, they like to reflect, or during, after, they reflect, and they make the decision sometimes, is it more important to make maybe a little bit more money, but I work far away from my family, or to be closer to home and make a little bit less? Because family makes them happy. Happiness it's their family. And yeah, so very interesting enough. So yeah, they take their time if they can, 100%. And they like us, they want to sit together. Do you know those big round tables? Everybody has a wine or a beer or a
With a
water or a cool
rotating
drink. And you go, right? And that's a big part of their culture. Yeah.
Admirable. And they do this only once a year, right? So that means that they kind of, throughout the year, they're saving up, or they're doing their business and they're trying to close deals for that particular time so that they can celebrate with their family. Something
100%.
like that, right?
Yeah.
And how does this affect our buyers and our sellers in parts of the world that is not China, right?
I would say a few years back, talking about 10, 20 years back, even 5 years back, it was a bit difficult for them because they know they have to do their planning, but not everybody did their planning in a sense where they know, for 2 weeks, I'm not going to get anything. And meaning not just product, you're not going to get an email back, a call back. It's radio silence, right? The bigger companies, I think they've adjusted pretty well. But the people we meet at the Canton Fair, the people like the ones that's getting into it, I think with them it's a bit different. Some people don't even know there's going to be nobody's going to close. So usually a week or two before Chinese New Year, you're going to receive an email. Hello, dear sir, ma'am, we're going to be closed from this date to this date. We will not be available. And you're like, no, but I was planning on getting a shipment now. And now you call them like, okay, please get me these 1,000 cups. No, we're backlogged. We're barely going to make it. So if you didn't plan that 2-3 months ago, that's a problem. And especially when you're small, you don't know what you're going to need in 2 or 3 months.
Of course, you work from day to day, you know.
So yeah, I think it still affects a lot, especially medium, small businesses, that, in my opinion.
Wow. How would you, if you were to give someone advice on that side and say plan ahead, would you say 2-3 months? How much time would you recommend they have knowing that the Chinese New Year is coming?
I would say minimum 2 months.
2 months, right?
Right, like after that, because depending on your factory, if it's a small one, you might be lucky. 4 weeks before, they might help you. But if this is a big one and they already have orders of 5,000 MOQ, and that's the minute, and you just want 100, for him it's not gonna really worry for that because the money.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, yeah, then I will also choose more money or a bigger order, right? So yeah, 100%.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's tie the two together. Let's say you have the relationship we spoke about earlier, where you've gone to lunch, maybe you've sat at the table with them, now they're a bit closer to you, and Chinese New Year's coming, right? And now you try and use that as leverage. Do you think that would work?
If you're lucky, yes. I actually think so, because what one of our suppliers actually did for us, they were already busy cutting the color that we wanted for bikinis, and he just pushed it in there because there's going to be, let's say, 50 meters left on the roll. So instead of taking that roll out, because a lot of the machines, when you go to visit them, you can see it takes time taking off the roll, cleaning out the machine, because you don't want the different colors over each other. So it's like, if you're going to take this color, or I'm looking for this blue, but he's got a bit darker one. He's like, will you be okay with this? If you say yes, he'll set it up for you. So yes, because then you have the relationship, and he's going out of his way to try to help you. And now also he's not wasting that much time taking everything off. So yeah, you might get lucky.
Good relationships,
100%.
right?
Build
good relationships. Keep
100%.
that good relationship going. Okay, so let's talk about something called red bags, right? In Chinese New Year, it's very customary, right? Let's move the red bag theory into business, right? And my question to you is it valid inside of business, where we're talking to supplier, buyer, but only on the Chinese side versus the foreign side?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I can speculate or just try to give you an idea where I know red bag, the red packet, lucky money, hongbao, whatever you want to call it, is very much related to family.
Right.
So within the family, they give. And outside, friends will give each other. But I have not really heard of you giving your boss something.
Right.
So maybe you can, because I know inside a company they would give each other, but I've never heard of a client giving it. And also because we're not part of that culture, they would not really think it would be necessary. It wouldn't bother them if they don't get it. Right. So yeah. But maybe somebody can see it as a bribe. You never know. Or not a bribe, but doing a favor.
Well, let's just say you 2 weeks backlogged, it's just before Chinese New Year, and you like send them a hongbao, what did you call it? And you're like, you know what, I need this order, is it possible, The reason why is to understand and to actually use the Chinese culture properly, with the right respect, obviously, and with the right intention. There is now doors that can open for you that wasn't open before.
100%, yeah.
See what I mean? So that's what I was asking, because I don't know.
I do know if you go to a business meeting, they would not mind if you have like a bottle of expensive baijiu or something. Because he might, if you're drinking something, he might keep it as a gift, he'll love it, or he'll want to share it right there. But point is, it's a very nice gesture for them. So that you can do all year round.
Well, we've covered quite a lot today on the conversation, and there's a very interesting set of things that we've gone through, from the manufacturing, the black bag story with this.
Cutting it, yeah.
How you guys got through that, and then obviously the mistakes in shipment and how it went from here to there, and your delay of 3 or 4 months, And then the commercial invoice we spoke about, Chinese culture, how the traditions affect, and how the Chinese people are influenced differently. And I really like your take on being open to different cultures, because in China there are also different provinces, right? And the culture is generally the same, but the provinces, they differ. And this is my next question for you, because have you only one supplier or two, then you need to deal with them in different ways, right? Do you have any experiences on this?
So we had 1 or 2 suppliers that was in Beijing, but that was at the beginning stages. But then we realized I can't fly to Beijing every now and then. So logistic-wise, all our suppliers are in Guangdong area. Right. So I can literally drive there with a DD, 2 hours, 1 hour. So most of it was all here, nothing outside. So, but I do know in business the same thing, because the food you're going to eat in Sichuan's province is going to be spicy. And so whatever the business meeting will be about, you should know you're going to eat very spicy food. Right. If you come to where we're from, Canton, like they call it, is Cantonese. So Cantonese is more a food that's the original flavor. So they don't salt it. When they steam it, it's more the original taste. Okay, so you have to know that. When you go to Beijing, it's going to be Peking duck most likely, because they're famous for their duck. And it's very cool because you make this little wrap of the duck and you put everything in and the sauce, and like it's awesome.
Good.
So yeah, the food culture is going to be super different. Working with people in general, I would say it's more or less the same. So yeah, if that helps you. Yeah.
No, it helps. It helps. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, in closing, let's go to, you said that we're going to be closing for Chinese New Year now, and it's coming up in the next 2 weeks, I think, right? 2 or 3 weeks. So, in the age that we are in now, which is the AI age, and we have AI agents available, and most of them are Chinese orientated, so it can be used. People will now be able to communicate. Language is becoming less of a problem. I wouldn't say it's
100%.
not a problem, but it's becoming less, right? Because now they can interact virtually with these people, clients, buyers, sellers from other sides, and they can put their orders in, right? Now, knowing that AI is there, and you spoke about you're not getting an email, you're not getting a text response, you're not getting anything, AI will influence that, right?
Oh, 100%, right? Because as soon as they open their doors, the AI would have every single order or whatever came in.
Yeah.
Because the new AI, the DeepSeek one, and there's one called Agent Spark, something Spark. But they do it where you call a restaurant and the AI answer. And like, hi sir, how can I help you? I want to make a reservation. Okay. What day, what date, what time? And then you tell the agent, he's like, let me confirm. And he repeats it back. So you're like, yes. And then it's like, oh, and do you want to sit by the window or in a booth? And then you can say this or this. You're like, okay, sir. So to clarify or just double check, they literally tell you everything back. Boom, automate.
Is that in English, Chinese?
So this one was in English, but I've seen agents where you can speak Chinese and it will speak back, or when it tells you, it will be English, so it translates as well. So yeah, AI definitely, that's going to be a big thing. I didn't even think about it, because now when you call any factory, they'll have it, or they can have it and that's going to make it easy, because you come back and you're like, oh,
list of
everything. Instead of going through every single email and reading, now everything has been summarized, and you just know where to go.
And you can also prioritize, like, this is a big order, this is a small order, you know, it makes 100%. A difference. So for people that are in China and they may be not aware of, I wouldn't say they're not aware of Chinese New Year, because China makes it very known. Chinese New Year is coming, right? But the depth of it and how many places you won't have contact with, right? And now the AI is there and they feel, oh, I'm going to get my order. In reality, will they get their order?
Hope so.
No, I mean, through Chinese New Year time.
So never through Chinese New Year time. No, nobody's going to go into the factory to pack it. Basically, the AI will just tell you, we've got your order. We'll get back to you at this and this time after Chinese New Year, and then we can discuss the shipment date or the manufacturer day. And so, yeah, it will just be basically taking the orders and waiting for Chinese New Year to be finished. 100%. Yeah.
And what is the duration? 2-3 weeks? What is the time span of our Chinese New Year?
So the holiday is usually about 2 weeks for most places. Some schools give them a month, but the actual days of Chinese New Year is only, under correction, 5 or 6 days. Wow. There's only the actual celebratory days. Yeah, the days they celebrate it. And it shifts every year. And that's why sometimes customers are like, oh, it was last year at, let's say, the end of January. And then next year he's calling up, like, what? It already started a week ago? Or, you know, like, so
keep track,
always,
right?
you have to keep track, because they use the lunar calendar and it always changes their Chinese New Year.
And how do you keep track?
My wife. I have a good assistant.
Yeah, you do. You should honor her, man.
Yeah,
she's keeping
definitely.
everything together. Well, Mr. Anton, the information that you gave us today and your experiences are truly, truly respectable. Thank you so much for your time.
You're more than welcome.
It's been a pleasure,
It's
man.
great.
And it was great catching up with you.
Thank you, man.
And in your journey, I can tell you that I found yours to be very unique. So I'm genuinely serious about writing a book. You should call it Figure 8, right? I'll patent that.
Then I have to buy it from you.
Absolutely. And then we can take it from there. But in your journey, man.